All right. So we have McCullough versus Maryland. And basically the facts of this case and who sued who is like, it's Congress decided that they wanted a bank and they put it in Maryland. And Maryland was like, we tax banks now. And McCullough was like, I will not pay the tax because we are federal, and you are the state, and the state can't tax the federal because, you know, it's like the hierarchy, like, you know, federal is up here and then you have the state. And Maryland, like, they sued McCullough because they were like, you gotta pay. And then this all happened in 1819. And the constitutional issues that were debated in this case was, the first one was, does Congress have the power to make a bank? And 2, can states tax a federal bank?
He was working at this U.S. federal bank in Maryland, and he refused to pay the taxes that Maryland said they were going to put on this bank. So the state of Maryland was like, okay, James, okay, Mr. McCullough, you don't want to pay these taxes? We're going to sue you. So they sued him and they won. And their argument was that the Constitution doesn't say jack bananas about a bank. It doesn't say anything about a bank, so they could do it. James was like, absolutely not. This is still very not okay. So he appealed it, and he took it to the Supreme Court in 1819. And this time, my boy won. He was 6-0. My boy was 6-0. This is very, very important because it establishes just how much power the federal government has. The necessary and proper clause. James Madison said, we building a bank. We building a second national bank. I think it's necessary, I think it's proper, and you aren't going to do anything about it. You aren't going to do anything about it. The supremacy clause. The federal government, federal laws override any state laws. From here to Timbuktu. Period. Okay? Because of this case, our government today has these implied powers. This case establishes implied powers. Just because the Constitution doesn't say they can do this or that doesn't mean they can't do it.
Hi guys. So this case impacts our world today because it also affects issues such as legalization of marijuana, immigration, LGBTQ issues, and more things like that. A societal change that occurred was that it was made clear that the federal government had more power than the state government. I believe this was a correct decision because if not, if the states had enough power for themselves, then it would be as if like all the states were their own country and could do as they wish versus like being as one collective nation. Thank you.